Hey friends, welcome back to Acre Homestead. We are in the airport actually. We are not at home, as you can tell. We are in the PDX airport. We're heading out to Salt Lake City. When I was at the Homesteaders of America conference, the Redmond Salt invited us to go on a tour of their salt mine, and could not be more excited about it. I invited my husband and he was able to make it work with his work schedule. So we have some exciting things we're gonna be doing while we're in Salt Lake City. Tonight, we're actually gonna be going to dinner with someone I've watched on YouTube for years, and I cannot wait. I'm sure you guys already know who she is. I reached out to her on Instagram and I said that my husband and I would want to take her and her husband out to dinner, and she said yes, so I'm super excited. So what we did this morning, it's early. It is only like 6 a.m. right now. We got to the airport and then we got some breakfast. My husband got a cold brew. I got an iced coffee. We got a local, this is actually a Seattle company's yogurt. If you guys have never had this yogurt, it's so good. So we got this for breakfast. And then I also bought myself one of these immune boosting ginger turmeric drinks. I thought this would be good for the flight. We are gonna be boarding in about 5 minutes. We got here just in time to sit here, eat our breakfast, drink our coffee, and get on to the flight. So we'll see you in Salt Lake City. So we just landed and we're in the Salt Lake City airport. We just checked in with our rental car and we asked the car concierge, what should we do while we're in Salt Lake City? And he gave us some really good suggestions. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head to Temple Square first, I think, and then we're gonna head to Snowbird, which is the ski resort. And he said there's really good sightseeing, and we might even go up in the ski lifts and see a really good view of the city and maybe have some lunch up there. We are meeting our mystery guest for dinner at 7. We wanted to give ourselves time to be able to go back to and check into our hotel and get freshened up before dinner. And I just looked at the restaurant we were gonna go to, and it's closed on Mondays, and today's Monday. So we're gonna look up a new restaurant for dinner. The weather feels really nice. It's super crisp. It was super hot in the airplane and in the airport. And the Salt Lake City airport's pretty big, so we had to walk pretty far. So I'm glad there's a nice cool breeze. We're just gonna store our stuff in the trunk while we go explore Salt Lake City.
We thought about putting it on our laps.
This is funny. They have an ice scraper because we are in Utah. You wouldn't have this in Portland. All right, let's go. This is super fun. My husband and I were just talking that we've never done this before. We've been married for 7 years, almost 8, where we've just taken a trip and we really have no agenda. On Tuesday and Wednesday we have plans, but the rest of the time we're here for 4 days, I think.
3 or 4.
3 or 4. 4. I think it's 4. We kind of are really flexible and we're just exploring a city. Usually when we go on vacation, we go on family trips, which are super fun. And so it's kind of fun that it's just the two of us going on, I think the only trips we've ever gone on, we went to Jamaica, and then the only trips we've gone on by ourselves are to the coast, the Oregon coast, which is like an hour and a half from where we live. So this is kind of exciting.
Yeah, it should be fun.
It should be fun. I'm excited, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us as we explore. We're heading to Temple Square. It sounds like it should be open. I don't even know what to expect there. I've just heard that it's super beautiful, and obviously something we have to do when we're in Salt Lake City, of course. I followed Jamie Ray Vintage for years, and I want to go to their store. They have a store called Jamie Ray Vintage, and it's in Lehi, Utah, but they're closed on Monday. That's one thing we've noticed is a few things are closed on Monday here. I don't know if that's normal, but what I think we're going to do is try to hit that up on Thursday, the day we leave. And as of right now, we're just heading to Temple Square and we'll see what the day holds. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I've never been to Utah, and my husband's only driven through Utah. So this is our first experience. And the first thing we're noticing is that it's very much like a desert. I never really had any expectations of what Utah would look like. And I'm noticing there's not really many trees, but it's cool because we're kind of in this valley and it is overcast right now. It's supposed to rain, but I think that the rain might hold off. And there's definitely beautiful mountains all around. It's hard to see, but it looks like there's mountains up here. And then all around, tucked behind these clouds, there's definitely mountains. So this is cool. I just missed a billboard for Beauty Lab. I don't know if you guys watch Real Housewives, but
we are so bummed.
I am so bummed. I wanted to get footage of it.
We're gonna turn around. We gotta get it.
Stop. My husband is
I'm being smarmy.
He's
A detractor, an active detractor.
Less than a fan. What would be the word for that?
I'm a detractor.
He's a detractor. I don't watch it when he's in the room because he can't help but have his comments. But Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is probably my favorite franchise. I know it's probably not the highest quality TV, but it is sure good to watch. Maybe we'll run into one of them.
God, I hope not.
So we on accident pulled into the church parking garage, like for the employees. So we need to turn around, but we were able to talk to the parking attendant and she gave us a great area where we need to park and where we can get a voucher so we don't actually have to pay to park. So we're walking up to where we need to go, and I think we might, if we have time, go into the Temple Museum. I think it's the Church History Museum, but this is the entrance over here. I think we found it.
Good afternoon and welcome to this recital featuring the Tabernacle Organ.
We took a tour of the old church building, one of the original church buildings, which was pretty stunning. And then we listened to a concert. All of this stuff is free here, which is pretty cool. The museums and the concerts and the tour. And I love a good tour, so that was fun. And now we're gonna go into the Church History Museum. That was super fun. We are heading out of Temple Square now. We are gonna go to Snowbird and we're gonna maybe try to get some lunch. And I'm working on trying to get some reservations for a yummy dinner tonight. There looks like there's a lot of really good restaurants around here, but it does seem to be that on Mondays a lot of things are closed. When we were at Temple Square and we were in the History Museum, it was really interesting thinking about or contemplating the pioneers that came across the country to come west and how much grit and determination that would take, because those mountains are big and I just can't even imagine having to look at that and be like, oh wow, we have to cross over that with either like a horse-drawn wagon or hand cart. Crazy. People had a lot of grit back then. It's impressive. I wouldn't have done it. I don't think I would have done it. Would you have done it?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah. Would you have gone across like the Oregon Trail or something like that?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah, sure. Depends on my age, I guess.
Wow.
What else is there to do?
Those were true homesteaders there. Those were the true, original, pretty tough people. So I'm glad I brought snacks because we drove all the way up to the ski resort area thinking there would be a place to eat food and it's all closed. So we have a granola bar. I have some cashews and dried pears that I made, and my husband's gonna eat his yogurt that I bought earlier in the airport. So we're gonna eat and then we're gonna see if we can go to the tram and do the airlift. So
No,
we're
that's
gonna
not right.
we're gonna eat a couple snacks because we're starving. It's 1:45 and my husband hasn't eaten anything today. So we're gonna try to get some food in and then see what else we can see up here. Plan B. So we decided not to do the aerial tram because it's pretty overcast and we've kind of seen around. I'm sure it's beautiful, but we want to make sure we have time to go to our resort, get settled in, and maybe freshen up before dinner tonight, and maybe just relax at the resort a little bit. So because we got to see the beautiful view while driving, we're going to count that as a win. It's about a 50-minute drive to the resort, so we'll see you at the resort. We are like 5 minutes from the resort and we found a sign that said cheese, and it looks like a kind of little farmer's market type thing, and you know we gotta stop. I gotta stop. My husband is indulging me. Tomato and basil. The people that we're taking the salt tour with recommended this hotel, and that's how we stumbled upon it. It's like a whole thing. It's pretty impressive. There's like a pool and golf and chess, like those big chess things. And yeah, this is really fun. So we're gonna settle, get a little refreshed before dinner. We have like, I think 2 or 3 hours before dinner. So there's like a little living room area with a fireplace. It is kind of interesting that they don't have the couches oriented around the fireplace. That's just something I'm observing. And there's a huge table. And my husband just gave me a funny look about the bathroom. So let's take a look in the bathroom. Little kitchenette.
Wait, were you filming me then?
No. Here we go. Let's see what we see. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is an intense tub. And the shower is impressive too. I love a good shower. Look at that. I just got ready for dinner. My husband's getting ready right now. We've just been hanging out and chilling. I was hanging out and chatting with you guys in the comments and watching a little bit of YouTube, or listening to YouTube, I should say, in the background. My husband's been watching some Seinfeld, which we don't usually just sit and watch TV together, so that was really nice. And now we're kind of basically ready to go to dinner, so we're gonna head to dinner now.
What are you doing? Oh my goodness.
We just got back to the hotel after 2.5 hours of long conversation, and let me show you who I had dinner with. What an amazing time. I cannot believe that Kimmy was able to have dinner with us tonight. And wow, let me tell you, if you guys are not following Kimmy from She's in Her Apron, please go check her channel out. I've been watching her for years and years, and I've learned so much from her over the years. So please go check her channel out. She does organizational cooking, freezer prep, all the things, and you will learn how to become an amazing homemaker from She's in Her Apron. So please go check her out. It is time to go to bed. It is now about 9:45, and I think we are gonna hit the hay, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Thanks, guys.
How are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Pretty good.
How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thanks.
We just had a fabulous breakfast. We ate dinner and breakfast at actually the restaurant that's in the hotel, and they have really good food. Really good food. I had avocado toast, and my husband had a breakfast sandwich. And now we just met up with Harvey from Redmond's Real Salt. Now we're heading to our first destination, which is actually the salt warehouse, which that is in like the Salt Lake City, Utah area. So let's just move on with this day. We're kind of driving through the country, and it's really pretty. There's a lot of cows and horses and things like that.
Okay, so this is our corporate headquarters.
Okay. This is Harvey.
Hey!
And we just got to the Redmond Real Salt packaging and processing plant. We're going to take a tour in there, and I'm pretty excited about it. And then Harvey is going to take us down to the mine, and we're going to go tour the mine where the salt is actually mined out of the ground.
Absolutely. Welcome to Redmond.
So everything right here that we make in Redmond is local to the U.S. and in fact local just to Utah. So our mine is in Redmond, Utah, which is about 2 hours south of here. They mine it, they bring it up here in giant 2,200 pound bags. We process it directly here in this warehouse, and then we ship it directly from the warehouse to you guys. So it's all local and homegrown salt.
This is the facility where the salt is packaged. The salt comes in these white 2,200 pound bags of salt from the mine. The mine is where they actually make it into what size it's going to be, whether it's going to be coarse or fine. These silver pipes pipe the salt from the bags into the clean room. The clean room is where you have to scrub up to go in there, because this is going to be salt for human consumption. This is the processing facility. In that silver funnel is where the salt comes from those pipes and is put into the bottles. The cool thing about Redmond salt is there is no processing to it except for what size it's going to be. Conventional salt is actually stripped of any minerals, and it is then added back minerals like iodine and also anti-caking agents, which there is some controversy over that. And this is just salt that comes out of the ground. It has all of its trace minerals left in it. It actually has natural iodine, so you don't have to worry about not getting your iodine from your salt. Once it's packaged, it is then shipped to your door. If you're interested in Redmond salt, I will leave a link down in the description box. The cool thing about this salt is it's homegrown, home packaged, and it's all 100% US based, which is pretty rare nowadays and pretty cool. That was super fun. It felt like we were in an episode of How It's Made, which my husband and I really like that show. There's 2 shows we actually really like. There's a spoof one.
How it's really made.
How it's really made, and then how it's made. And I'm super into, you guys know I'm into like everything from scratch and knowing where your food comes from. And that was perfect. Fit right in. We got to see exactly how it was processed, and everyone there was super friendly. So now we're gonna go eat some lunch, and then we're gonna drive. It's about a 2.5 hour drive south to where the salt's actually mined out of the ground, where we get to see where the salt comes out of the ground, which to me, that is the coolest part, I think.
It's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be cool. See you guys there. So we're driving about 30 minutes to lunch right now, and I wish it wasn't raining just because it's hard to see, but this drive is incredible. We have mountains on both sides. We're kind of like in this little valley. Look at what we're coming up to. I wanted to film these cows. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but there's 3 cowboys herding these cows. How cool is that? That is so cool. Oh no, there's 4 of them. I've been saying since the beginning, it does feel like we're kind of in the wild, wild west out here. Like that's what it feels like a Western movie. And that was pretty cool to see. I've never seen anything like that before. Oh, well, you can't see it now, but I think we're going right over here somewhere. Yes, I think that this right here is the mine where we're going. Look at these clouds. Look how stunning that is. Oh, maybe this is the mine over here.
This is where we stockpile.
We learned later that these big white piles that look like dirty snow are actually road salt, and they can actually keep them out and not have to worry about rain, because if it does rain, it creates a hard shell, and then all they have to do is go through that hard shell, and the salt underneath is safe. Yeah, that's where we're going. That is incredible. Look at that. Looks like snow. We just got to the mine, the salt mine, and I'm going to do a whole separate video on actually touring the mine and going down to the mine and doing all that. And so I'll see you guys back when we're done with the tour. That was one of the most interesting and cool experiences I have ever done. I am definitely grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. This is them grinding the salt off the wall. After this, we had about a 45-minute drive to our hotel, and we went and stopped and picked up some Costa Vida. We just got into our hotel. We're pretty pooped. That was a long day. Really awesome day though. We just picked up some Costa Vida. We talked about going to a sit-down restaurant, but we didn't even have the energy for that. So we're gonna change into some comfy clothes. We're gonna eat some dinner. We're gonna watch some TV, and we're just gonna relax for the night. The plan for tomorrow is to go to Arches in Moab, and I'm pretty excited about that. I've never been to any of the national parks in Utah before. I've never been to Utah, so see you tomorrow. The hotel had a fantastic breakfast, so we got up and we got some breakfast and coffee. We had to stop to get gas before we drove out, and we got some road trip essentials. We got some different candy, water, and things like that. Now, we had to drive about 2.5 hours from our hotel to Arches National Park. We kind of went back and forth if we were going to go to Arches or Bryce Canyon, and we decided since we were in Utah, we needed to go to Arches National Park. One of the most incredible things that we noticed while we were there was how quickly the landscape changed. It changed every 15 minutes, and it was such a dramatic change. It was incredible. We decided to stop at Devil's Canyon, which was this incredible canyon. We also noticed while we were in Utah how big the sky was. They say Big Sky Montana, but it felt like Big Sky Utah. In the Pacific Northwest where we live, we get a lot of clouds, so we don't get to see the sky like this in the winter or fall usually, and it was so stunning. We finally made it to Arches National Park, and now we are going to explore the park. Now we're just driving up to the Arches.
Like built into it.
Here's our first arch right there. It's about 3:30 now, and we have waited to go to the south and north arch. This is the cherry on the top part of the arches where you get to actually kind of walk through them. So this is going to be super cool. So we just finished up at the North and South Arch, which was pretty awesome. My mom called me and let me know that Gizmo, she's been watching Gizmo, had 2 seizures. So she called the vet and they said just watch him overnight because they don't have anything open today. And then if he has another seizure, just bring him in the morning and drop him off. So I'm a little bit worried about that. So I'll keep you posted on how Gizmo's doing. And we're gonna go get some dinner now. We only had about a 10-minute drive into Moab where we got dinner, which was nice that we didn't have a far drive to dinner. The drive out of Arches was absolutely incredible. We actually got to watch the sunset and it was pretty stunning. This was probably the best time of year to go to Arches because it wasn't very hot and there was hardly anybody there. It was so nice. You could get pictures without having tourists in it, and the weather was just perfect. It was sunny and cool and just the perfect time to go to a national park. The next day, we got up early and we actually decided to head back into Salt Lake City. Our flight was around 4 o'clock and we thought we would just drive back into Salt Lake City and spend the day in Salt Lake instead of having to worry about that in the afternoon. The drive was incredible. Just like always, these drives in Utah are absolutely incredible. Definitely a sight to see. We decided to stop in Jamie Ray Vintage's store because I've been watching her on YouTube for a really long time. So I really haven't picked up the camera much today because it's been a whirlwind. I think the last thing I left you with last night was that Gizmo had 2 seizures. That's my French Bulldog. And he ended up having 9 seizures last night. And they're running a bunch of tests, and I haven't had a chance to talk with the vet yet. The only thing I found out is I was able to talk to our vet because he got some of their records that they did do some blood work, and his blood came back normal. So it's not anything, it's not like a toxicity issue that's causing his seizures. So he is on epileptic seizure medication right now and had to deal with calling our vet, and all this stuff. And so that took quite a bit of time. We just ended up getting some breakfast. We did have some plans. We were gonna kind of do some sightseeing in Salt Lake City, but the wind was kind of knocked out of our sails a little bit. So while I was in town, we did stop at Jamie Ray Vintage. That is something in Lehi, Utah that I really wanted to do because I've watched her channel for years and years and years. And she's one of the reasons why me and my mother-in-law really love thrifting. When I was living with my mother-in-law, we used to watch Jamie Ray Vintage every Saturday night. They do a live thrift haul and they paint and decorate and do projects and stuff like that. So we did want to make sure that we went to Jamie Ray Vintage while we were in Utah. So I picked up something little for my mother-in-law, and because I'm bursting at the seams in my suitcase, and I'm glad we did that. But then we ended up just coming to the airport, and we've been hanging out here because I had some editing I needed to do. One of my videos was giving me some grief, so my husband worked on that. And now we're just hanging out and ready to go home. It'll probably be tomorrow morning when I pick him up. So I will keep you guys posted on Gizmo, but that is why we kind of just decided to come to the airport and just hang out and get a few things. And yeah, so that is that. We probably have about 2 hours before we get on our plane to go home.
Please help us get ready for takeoff by making sure your seatbelts are fastened, seatbacks and tray tables are up.
I kept thinking I could come back and close this vlog out and give an update on how Gizmo was doing, but the next 2 weeks after we got back were pretty traumatic and pretty hard. Gizmo sadly passed away on Thanksgiving, and he was surrounded by family and friends, and it was very peaceful. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who shows love and support to me, my family, and my pups. It means the world to me that you guys are here. I just really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you next time. Rest in peace, Gizmo.